everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Hey, you guys. Good afternoon. It's been a while since we've been live a little early. This is going to be interesting. We've got a couple of different things. Well, not really a couple. There's a lot going on right now, broskies. There's a lot going on right now. Now, the one that we're going to go through right now, obviously, is Jack DuCoeur's interview with Brett Payne. This is what Brett Payne was doing. I found the report. I don't know how I skipped over it, missed it. I controlled F'd to find his name 1,000 times. This is what Payne was doing at 2:47 instead of being at King Road the way that Talbot's paper says. I've got them all pulled up so that we can compare the times. But this is where Payne was. He was actually interviewing Jack D at the police department, which is what I sort of figured he was interviewing someone because that's what he got called in to do. But Talbot's report, throwing 2:41 p.m. into the mix of Blaker and Payne being there, that doesn't work because now we have Payne on camera at 2:37 starting this interview with Jack. So then I have to ask, okay, can we maybe assume that Talbot is writing in Boise time because there's like an hour difference, because that's been maybe pointed out before, but then I have to say no, because then half of his report would still be incorrect because they got the call at 12:34. And if we're going to move it up the way that the 3:41, if it was moved, would be around about 4 o'clock and would maybe like be okay, that's the excuse, that's the reason, then they would have been notified about what was going on almost a half hour before the 911 call. So I can't say that it's because he's writing in a different time zone either. He just straight up had to have made a mistake because Payne is on camera here at the time. And he even says at the end of this interview, he hasn't been to the scene yet. So Talbot throwing that in there is what's causing a big, huge, like, misconception, I guess. That's why I keep saying I wish they would get rid of these reports, these things that these humans write, and just give us the actual technology from the very beginning. The stuff with the timestamps, the stuff that we can visually see, the stuff that has actual data behind it. Because almost all of the recollections and all the first responders reports all have different little details in it. Stuff is automatically being horribly translated in this big, huge game of telephone the second that the police start showing up. There's just so much. There's so much. It's so difficult to follow because everyone's information is different. I'm going to show you all those documents here in just a second so that you guys can see what we've been going off of, because all we can do is go off of the information that we have and try to figure out the timeline. So whenever someone who is in a higher agency that is a lead detective is coming in and saying, I got there at 2:41 and Blaker and Payne were already there, and Blaker told me all this drama about how apparently Dylan heard the man's voice say Kaylee's name, which was false. That's this paper that came from, all this crazy shit came from, was Talbot's ISP document. Talbot really has some explaining to do. It's like horrible report writing because he's caused a lot of problems here. Holy shit, he's caused some problems here. Okay, let's say hi for a few minutes and then we're going to get started. But I will tell you guys, besides just Hunter Johnson and Jack DuCoeur's interviews, there's a channel that goes by the name Connor. I'm going to go ahead and put this link in the chat. I noticed last night when I sat down at the computer that they were posting videos that were not interviews. They actually have a bunch of Officer Snyder's body cam. They have some from Gunderson. They have the one from Jack Showalter's phone interview, and it's just up there and it's raw, unedited. I went in and I tried to screen record all of Snyder's parts because there's about 6 different parts, and put them all together so that we can go over those at some point. On top of, apparently, Nunez is not pronounced Nunez. In the video, one of the police officers has been working with him. They say his last name as Nunes. And I think that's the first time that I've heard it spoken. Like actually spoken by somebody who knows him. So I've been saying it wrong for 3 years now. Sorry, broski. That's not my fault. It looks like it was Nunez, but apparently it's Nunes. So that's what we're going to go off of from now on, but that channel has a lot of raw body cam stuff on here, stuff that I hadn't seen before. We're definitely going to be going through some of it. Snyder, if you guys remember, is also the one that took the initial pictures, like the ones that we got from MPD in like a handful that were extremely blurred out, that we saw the pink blanket on that apparently the bodies were in. That's who is all of this stuff. So it'll be kind of interesting to go in and see if we can tell which ones were deleted, because there's a whole thing in the documents about certain ones being deleted and it messing up the sequential order. I don't remember the exact details of it, where the numbers were, but it was something to do with his documents, with his pictures being taken. Now, this is ZavGirl's copy, is the first one that I saw, and I always use and give credit to the first one that I see, and it was hers. She had put some, oh, that's the wrong thing. She had put some strange music in the very beginning of it, so I muted that because it was music, and music is weird to have in an interview. So I took it out and muted it. And the sound is going to start right whenever the sounds in the camera start, where she starts to fade the music away. So you're going to hear like a microsecond of like a faded sound of music. That's what that's from. And then it's going to be the interview itself. And as soon as that interview itself starts, I sort of cut it and make it to where it's really just Jack, because that's all that you see anyway. You don't see Payne. You don't see, you only see like his hand move forward and like grab the phone, but you can still see all that stuff. Hold on. Just so that you guys know what I did to it. But that's the only thing I did to it. There's a lot of silence. There's a lot of silence in this. And I don't understand, again, why they're blurring people's faces. We know who these people are. We've known who these people are for years now. I don't quite understand the reason for it. But they're all apparently going to be like this, because we know that Hunter Johnson's is the exact same way. So it just is what it is. It just is what it is. Let me show you these documents real quick that I was telling you guys about. So when it comes to this interview itself, see the time right here? The time says it says 14:37. So that is 2:37 p.m. I don't like her either. I don't like her either. I do not like her. I don't like her. She's just the first one that I saw. And people that are here on this channel that have been here for a while know that regardless of how I feel, if that's where the credit goes, that's where the credit has to go, because I'm a fair person. It was hers that I saw first. I heard someone talk about it, but they didn't say where they saw it. And so whenever I went to go find it, her video was the first one that popped up. So it just is what it is. It just is what it is. Okay. Notice the time. Notice it says 14:37, which is 2:37 p.m. Okay, on 12/13. When it comes to Brett Payne's narrative, this is supplement number 114 in the Moscow Police Department documents. He notes 12:37 p.m. I didn't notice this one. I don't know why it didn't show it to me whenever I was doing the Control F thing. So now I need to clarify more of the timeline information, but I still need to wait until we get some information from ISP. We need more information from Talbot, because him putting this false information in there does not help a damn thing. Okay, so here's Brett Payne's. It says 12:37 p.m. That matches the camera. Okay, now we have Talbot's right here from ISP claiming that at 2:41 p.m., so just a 6-minute difference, they were already on scene. Okay, we're going to see that time fly by on this camera, and guess what? Payne is still sitting in that chair. So he's not there at 2:41. Talbot is not correct. And like I said, if he was moving like for time zones, it still wouldn't work, because this timing right here, well, that just highlighted like all crazy. Anyway, this timing right here would be like 11:34 instead, and that was before the 911 call. So he's just got to be completely incorrect about everything he's saying right here, because we see Payne on the freaking camera. These human errors are the big issue. They've always been the big issue. And again, if we go back to the original report that that Payne wrote, his original report of the time that he got to the scene matches the PCA that we got at 1600 hours, which is 4 p.m. And considering again that he says to Jack that he hadn't been down there yet, And then we go back to Bethany's, where Blaker is like trying to figure out exactly what the house looks like up the street, because he hadn't been there yet either. The person who's wrong in the timeline is Talbot. Talbot had to have had it wrong, because so far, Blaker and Payne's information is matching the timestamps. Talbot is also the one who gave the DNA information to Don Daniels, who later misplaced 3 DNA samples after they searched Bryan Kohberger's apartment. But you know what? There's videos all about that. We don't need to get into all that right now. Let's go ahead and look at the interview. Try to see if you guys catch anything else that I didn't catch that I haven't mentioned so far. I didn't listen to every little thing whenever I was trying to record it down. He does say some pretty interesting stuff. He does mention seeing a guy's information in Kaylee's phone, something about Snapchat. I question how he saw that in her phone, but I don't know if they get into specifics about that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm just moving my coffee cup. You ready? Yeah, then she gets a promotion. How does that happen? I would love to be able to be that kind of F up, because isn't that what we always hear? It's always some politician, some government official, somebody in the police department or some fire station or some form of office in some sort of like federal or state level that has all these mix-ups and has all these mistakes, and then the next thing you hear, they're getting promoted. What? What a strange world to be in whenever that's like the opposite of how normal, things would actually work. Okay, you guys ready? Let's listen. Now remember, it's silent right here because she got some weird music right here. I don't know why she put a ballad in this. It was kind of weird. Oh, never mind. It's not going to be in.
Sorry, Michelle.
Actually, that was exactly what I was about to warn you guys about. I just didn't think it was in this one. The beeps, if you guys are wearing headphones and you have it like up real high, especially whenever we go over the body cam footage of Snyder, which will probably be sometime tomorrow because we're going to go live for Hunter Johnson's later on. Be very careful because the beeps from the dispatch thing are loud as hell, especially whenever you're not expecting them. I'm just saying.
True. All right. Just so you understand kind of what's going on, this is kind of how these things go. We pull everybody in that has any degree of affiliation. Okay, so don't think that you're in trouble. We're trying to collect as much of this information as we can to try to get a clear picture on what's going on and figure out where to start looking. Okay. So real quick, do you have a cell phone? Do you mind if I take it from you?
Yeah, that's all right.
Appreciate it. You need to text anybody, let them know you're okay. I don't want someone to try to call you and your phone be off.
I've had a few people try to call this. My parents are coming up from Cortland as well.
Okay, but they're aware of what's going on.
Yeah, I might want to just let them know to come straight here.
Yeah, have at it. You're more than welcome to. You can call them, text them, whatever you want to do.
Captions, yeah. Actually, no. I don't know. Can y'all see this right here? It says that the captions are unavailable. It's blacked out. It's grayed out. It won't let me.
Address is 155 Southview.
Hey, I'm going to give him my phone, but I just wanted to let you know that I'll be at the police station if you guys are still coming.
Sounds like he's on the phone.
When will you be here? Just so I kind of know. When will you be here?
If I talk to you.
Sure. One of the officers would like to speak to you.
Hello, ma'am. Hey, my name is Corporal Payne with Moscow PD. I just kind of want to give you guys, do you know where the PD is here in town? I might have lost me. I have good service up there. Oh, I think we're losing you. Okay, back to you.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I think they're familiar with the area. I don't know if they know they moved spots.
Oh, so I'm sorry.
Oh.
That last part cut out.
Do you know where the new police station is?
No.
Okay, so the easiest way.
We could put it in Google Maps unless that won't work.
Yeah, the easiest way, ma'am, is just stay on the highway like you're going to Lewiston. You'll kind of go through town, you'll pass A&W on your right, and they keep going down that long hill, and you can't miss it. It's a big, brand new building on the left side of the road.
Okay, thank you. I'll be there as soon as you can.
Okay.
Thank you.
But
All right. So, real quick, what's your first name?
Yeah, they blur them to oblivion. They literally blur them all into oblivion. I don't understand it. We know who these people are. Their faces have been all over the media. They're adults. It's a lot. It's interesting as hell, the delicacy with this case. I can't explain it.
What's your middle initial? And last. What's the date of birth for you? Good address for you?
Yeah, no shit. Like the addresses and phone numbers, I understand, but like his name and like his face, why are we doing that?
And your phone number. Okay, I'm assuming this is, what kind of phone is this? iPhone?
yeah,
What model do you know?
it's 10X. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, he always has his hoodie on.
Thanks.
They let Bethany keep her hood over her head too. Yeah, that report has the wrong date on it because we've got the receipts already from like Facebook posts where they had the conversation about the vehicle, and the money was exchanged before the 10th because she used the same money to put the down payment down on that vehicle. So she would have had to have sold it before the 10th in order to have it on the 10th to put the money down. You know what I mean? So the date in that report was wrong. There was a lot of this stuff in here that was, I mean, in the reports that was technically incorrect when it comes to dates and stuff.
Just so you know, we obviously try to get these back to you as quick as we can. Okay, so it's not like you're never going to see your phone again. It may take a few days for us to process the information on it, and we'll get it back to you. Okay, so I just want to make sure I have a good documentation of who's whose, and we'll go from there. All right. So while we're on that note,
I agree.
just fill in your info here.
Yeah, no, I really do actually feel bad for Jack. Like, I get that there's a lot of people that think that he's like a little bit suspicious, but he was like really brokenhearted over this, regardless of what people are trying to act, just because he didn't like stay away from her or act any way like negative towards her doesn't mean that he wasn't sad as F already. Like, this dude's been sad for like 3 months now. I think they said it had been like 3 months that they were going through this breakup situation. And remember, we also have the report where they said that Jack himself sent an email to the school basically saying how much his mental health had declined lately. And there was a phone call with him the next day in concern. So yeah, it was definitely been, something that was affecting him for a while.
Okay, so this is just saying that you give Moscow PD consent to search your digital media, okay? If you wouldn't mind, if you're okay with that, right there it says consent or signature, if you wouldn't mind signing right there. And just so you know, everything's recorded. This little camera right here is rocking and rolling, so thank you. All right. Sorry, I'm not an iPhone guy, so take me that. You just hold it down to turn it on? Or?
Just click that right side button there.
No, I turn it off. I thought you run out of battery.
I think you hold both of these.
There you go. Perfect, thank you.
I don't have the Linda Lane footage myself. There's channels that have it. I see that you're discussing a timestamp for it, but I haven't seen that myself. So, I mean, I'll look at it, but I don't know exactly where I would find a link for that just like off the bat. It's not something I was knowing about ahead of time. But there's like Yori and a couple other channels that have like sectioned out Linda Lane pieces that you can find by doing some searches.
Oh, keep it just right your name on the top there for me if you wouldn't mind. All right. So, appreciate that. I know it's a weird thing to give up your phone to somebody, but I appreciate you helping us out. All right. Before we get into kind of timeline for last night and stuff, what you have? I'm assuming you have social media.
Yeah.
What accounts do you have?
They did this with the other ones too. They blurred out their social media names, like the platforms that they used. Dang, this is a lot of silence for social media. This is a lot of silence for social media.
Okay.
Dang.
So you got your address. So starting yesterday, midday, wherever you want to start. Did you go to the football game?
No, I was working.
You're working. Okay, where are you working? What time is your shift end?
It's from like 2 to 10. I got out of there probably.
10 p.m. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what did you do after you got off shift?
I went home. I dropped off some food at my friend who's working at the corner club. And then I went home and met up with my friends, and then we went to the corner club as a group.
So he must have brought food to Adam. Did we read that in the report? So he left work, brought food to Adam, and then went home, got ready, and then went back to the corner club to hang out, is how that went.
What time did you guys get to the club?
Probably close to 11.
Which would have meant that the girls were already there.
Okay. Anything kind of talking through the rest of your evening there? You guys just hang out, or?
Yeah, we hung out there, and then I actually did run into Kaylee at the corner club. So I had her talk to her for probably a minute or so.
And that's actually the exact same way that it's been described to us by the police. There wasn't any like long conversations. That's why it's sort of like iffy if the person that she's talking to in the still shot is Jack or not, because it would have been like the literal 1 to 2 minutes that they happened to actually cross paths. They literally state that when they reviewed it, he stayed on the complete opposite side of the bar from them for the majority of the night and like didn't really want to interact with them at all. One time in passing. Like, I know the guy in the thing is wearing so much like stuff that looks like Jack, and it looks like it could have been him. I think it might still could be him, but why would they choose like that one still shot out of all the hours they were there, just the one little 1 minute timing? It's like that's pushing narratives, but you know, that's what they do.
And then eventually, I don't know if she left before or after me, but I left. I came back home, pretty much just went to bed, and then I woke up and I saw a bunch of commotion down the street. And I walked.
You know what? I was looking for that in this, and I don't remember them mentioning it. Again, I didn't catch every little thing. So that's something that I wanted to make sure that if we heard this or not, because it's not in any of his initial reports, the fact that they had that 17-minute phone call. He talks about the missed calls. He talks about all the missed call stuff. But when it comes to the conversation, I don't think he says it in here. And the initial reports didn't say it. It wasn't until after they actually like confronted him with his phone download information that he finally had to be like, oh, well, I just don't remember. Remember, he acted like he didn't remember. He thought maybe he like turned an alarm off or something like that, which that doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me. So let's listen to see if he says it, but I don't think he does.
Walked out there just to see what was going on, and I kind of heard some things. But I later looked on my phone and found like 6 missed calls from Kaylee and 3 from Maddie as well.
Yeah. This is actually something that I've wondered too. How come none of them ever mentioned the fact that like they heard everyone's phones ringing? Yeah, that's something I've questioned too, Danny. I've wondered that.
Sorry to interrupt you, man. You said you guys, what time did you leave the corner club?
And I don't know why they just redacted what he was saying about the corner club and everybody that they were with as much as they just did, because we know most of that information from reports. So why didn't they just redact names? That was a lot of silence.
Probably about 1. I don't really know that I wasn't paying attention at the time.
No, that's right. You went straight home after that. You guys stopped to get grub truck, anything like that?
Nope, straight home. Our sober driver was actually stopped by one of the officers.
Oh, really? Okay. Who's your?
Well, actually, we didn't get in that car because it was too full, but I came in contact with him because I was trying to get a ride.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that explains a lot. So we've read all of these reports, right? And we knew that one of the sober drivers had gotten pulled over. It was kind of difficult to figure out if it was Jack's or if it was somebody else's, because they mention these sober drivers in a lot of these different reports, and with all of the redactions, it's difficult. So what it sounds like is that there was 2 other sober drivers, and we did see something about a car switch at one point too. So there was 2 different sober drivers that were coming to pick up a multitude of people. And the guy that ended up getting pulled over is the car that Jack was originally going to get in, but then he didn't. He ended up getting into the other one. So that's what he's explaining right now. Okay, so there was multiple people out that night. And also remember that we just recently found out in the Amazon thing that David Barriocha was apparently a sober bro and out driving at 4 o'clock in the morning too. So let's remember that.
So how did you end up getting home?
Just another buddy came and pick us up.
Okay. Who is that? Do you mind me asking?
He's,
I think
yeah.
How do you spell his last name?
Oh, he's adult redacted.
Then you just went straight home, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then about what time did you go to sleep? Do you remember?
Probably about a half hour after that, after I got home at 1-ish.
So 1:30-ish, fair to say?
That's my best guess.
So he's claiming that he went to sleep like 15-ish minutes or so before the grub truck situation happened.
Okay. And then what time did you actually wake up?
Like 11:30.
11:30. And then do you have roommates at all?
Mm-hmm.
Were they there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, 2 of them were home when I got walked out of my room, but I don't know who else was there.
Okay. Who are your roommates?
There's 4 of them.
Okay.
And then
So much silence. It's wild.
Okay.
And That's all. And me, yeah.
Okay. So you said you woke up 11:30 and saw a commotion. What can you kind of describe that to me?
My roommate's window in his bedroom, you can just see like down the street. And he just like mentioned it. I got up and looked, and I saw it was up by Kaylee's house, and so I walked out there.
Was it like people or cop cars or?
Yeah, I mean, there's like 3 cop cars and some EMTs.
See, he's saying that he saw the cop cars and the EMTs like around 11:30, but that's not true. We know the timestamps for that kind of stuff, so he's just mistaken on his times.
Okay. And so that was about 11:30.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what time you said you went back and checked your phone? Do you kind of remember, like you said, had missed calls from Kaylee? Do you remember what time those came in by chance?
Yeah, they were like between 2:40 and 3. I think the last one was like 2:57. One of them was also a FaceTime.
Mm-hmm.
How many of them were there? Do you think?
I think there was 6 from Kaylee and 3 from Maddie.
And there was also a call from Maddie to Bethany, closer to 3.
And I don't, like, Maddie, I've known her forever, but she wouldn't just call me unless they needed something. So it's...
See, what he just said is that even though he's known Maddie for forever, she wouldn't just call him. Meaning that Kaylee calling back to back might be normal according to her family for some reason, but Maddie joining in on the constant calling obviously is not something that's usual. This is also around the time, though, that Murphy was missing, according to what we're now hearing from, like, Bethany. Okay. There's so many, like, layers to all of this. It's insane.
That was weird to me.
Okay. You said the last one was like 0247. You said something like that?
57. 257.
No text messages from either one?
Actually, I don't know how she got my little vape, but she texted me at like 2:45 and she said, "Hey, I have your vape. You can come get it from the house."
Okay.
I didn't say that to her.
And that was Kaylee?
Yeah.
Yeah, the vape thing.
Okay. So I know you said you were sleeping, obviously, most of the night, but at any point, did anybody mention hearing, seeing anything out of the ordinary?
No, not that I heard.
Nothing, huh? Did you hear or see anything out of the ordinary?
No, not until the morning.
Yeah, not until you saw the cop cars and stuff. But,
Okay.
Have you noticed anybody around, like in your group of friends or even just in the neighborhood that you're like, well, that guy's kind of, or gal is kind of off looking? Anybody stick out like that to you in the last few months since school started?
One day there's this like old minivan that was just like kind of backing up and like up our street and back down. And it just looked weird. I took a picture of it.
Oh, did? Okay.
Minivan.
I never thought of anything of it, and that was probably a month or 2 ago.
So it was just backing down the street?
I mean, I live on like that dead end, so we like pulled up and then like backed down and then was just sitting there forever. I might just be stereotyping, but
No, you're good. It's the kind of stuff we need to know for sure. What color was it? Do you remember?
I think it was like a dark gold, but it was like peeling paint and stuff.
And that was about a month ago.
Yeah, I could find the day on my phone.
A minivan. I don't remember hearing that before him.
It's nothing else. No weird people walking around in the shadows or anything like that going on. No. Okay. Do you have any idea who would do something like this?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But Kaylee has called me and stuff, like if she's walking home and she thinks someone like is watching her or follower, she'll just call me and just to have someone on the phone.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my theory of what the missed calls are from, but I still don't know what happened at all.
How often did she do that?
So yeah, so he just said that he thought that maybe she could have been calling him so much because somebody might have been around. So I wonder how many times she's actually called him for that, because we do have all of these other reports that we've gotten from other people claiming, yeah, she told us that there was a stalker, that someone was around whenever she was out walking the dog, that she saw shadows, somebody in the trees. So I really wonder how many times she's actually had to call him for that in 5 years.
I mean, a couple times a year.
Okay.
It's just like
Not
she
super
was
common.
feeling
A couple
sketched
times
out,
a year. Okay. That's a lot, honestly.
Did she ever mention that she thought someone specifically was following her, or was it more like I just getting creeped out?
Yeah, just getting creeped out.
Okay. Is there anything? Are you in a frat at all?
I'm part of one. Yeah.
Which house? Has there been any kind of weird conflicts with people in the Greek system? Anybody outside the Greek system? I mean, anything you can think of that might point us in the direction of who we'd be looking for. Any rivalries, any boyfriend-girlfriend drama that's gotten out of hand, anything like that?
No, not really. Everything's been pretty normal.
Okay.
Define normal.
I was going to mention, I'm sure this is something that they could tell you too, but there's a lot of like people just coming in and out of their house all the time. Just because, like, they're well-liked people, and I think more people need the code to their door than they should have.
At least he's being honest.
But yeah, no specific conflicts or anything like that.
Were they pretty good about locking their other doors?
I believe so. Yeah, I don't know. I know there's a sliding glass door in the back. I don't know if they keep that locked all the time. I also own a dog with Kaylee, and I don't know where he is.
Okay. Was he with Kaylee or at the house?
Yeah.
What kind of dog is it?
He's a mini golden doodle.
And he was there that last night?
As far as I know, yeah. I heard that someone saw like a shadow when they took Murphy. I don't know who it was, but took Murphy to go pee outside before they went to bed.
Okay.
That's just what I heard from one of the girls that was there.
Who said that to you? Did she describe it at all, or did she just say she saw? Like, what did she actually tell you? Do you remember?
I just overheard a conversation with someone else, but she said that I don't know if it was Kaylee or her, but because I wasn't even part of the conversation. But she said there was a shadow, and they grabbed Murphy and went inside and locked the door.
See, okay, so when I first heard this, I wondered if this was that night or if this was the time where we've already heard that Kaylee saw a shadow and like called one of the roommates about, when were they going to get home because she saw a shadow by the dumpster. The story that we're hearing about that night is that Bethany and Maddie are the ones that took Murphy outside. Bethany is now claiming that she was only outside for maybe about 10 seconds before she came back in and basically left Maddie out there with Murphy for him to go to the bathroom. Well, then Murphy goes missing. And it is at 2:53 that Madison calls Bethany, according to these reports. So we know that she is calling Jack back in 1 second, guys. Okay. Okay, so according to this, it's at 2:53 that Maddie calls Bethany. Now, what we heard from Bethany is that when she came in, she didn't go straight to bed. She grabbed some snacks, went down to her room, watched an episode of some show, and then ended up falling asleep for a little while before being woken up to what sounded like a firecracker, a light underneath her door. She then claims that she hears a noise above her. To me, it's probably the kitchen table instead of the little beer table with the cups on it. I don't really know. There's all kinds of discrepancies and things going on when it comes to this information. The timing for this is interesting though, because we again don't know when Murphy would have been found, who found him. And again, we still don't know a timeline for Ethan and Xana getting back to the house. There's a lot of this information in between this, like 2:00-ish, 2:13-ish, whenever Eric Gower actually responds back to Dylan. And then like she apparently doesn't say nothing back to him after that. She just like goes off and does whatever she's doing. She never claims to have been asleep. She tells the officer that she was trying to go to bed. And we also know that she was adding a contact to her phone at 3:51 in the morning, which is 8 minutes before the DoorDash would have been apparently scanning the little drop off for the DoorDash order at 3:59 in the morning. So we have all these missed calls from Jack from Maddie and Kaylee's phone. At the same time, Maddie is also calling Bethany. So is it still 3:00 and Murphy is still missing? And it was really like 3:00 that Maddie went down to see what was going on with Murphy, because Bethany claims that it wasn't just a phone call, that Maddie came down to her room and like knocked on her door and asked her if Murphy was with her. So did that happen? And then did the phone call happen? And then she went down there? Because we've heard both ways. But this pushes the timeline a little bit more, because this is still them frantically calling Jack at almost 3:00. And then right whenever the last call is about to go through to Jack, we're also getting a call to Bethany. It has to be about Murphy. What I don't know is why the 17-minute phone call between the two of them is being hidden from us that we found out in these documents recently. So I think somebody just mentioned it in the chat. Is this 17-minute phone call like when Kaylee was in the house and Murphy was outside with Maddie and Bethany? Or is it in this time frame right before all these missed calls? Because honestly, the document where we hear about the call is sort of, the verbiage could be taken either way. We just know that there is also a 17-minute phone call that we haven't been told about that Jack is now trying to pretend didn't even happen. That's why I think it has to be like in the time of the missed calls. Because of the missed calls, he can be like, oh, it was an accident. I answered the phone. Well, then, you're not getting all these missed calls from the same people. So I don't know. All of it's a really, really misconstrued. But this time frame right here for like all the calls to Jack could easily be about Murphy being missing. So I don't know why you would be like, oh, come get your vape, if this is also the time frame that the dog is missing. All of it's very confusing. All very confusing. So let's go ahead and continue this.
I never thought of anything of it.
Dog's name is Murphy, so?
Yeah. Do you know where he is, or someone has
No idea, man. I really don't. We'll keep an eye out for him. We can let everybody know and watch out for him, okay?
So I'm guessing from this that they haven't told Jack anything about where Murphy is, and he must have not noticed when they were taking him out of the house, because he was sitting in the back of that cop car. Maybe he just didn't notice it in the rearview mirror when they took Murphy out.
Is he chipped at all, He's put like one of
He's not, no.
Okay. Is he like a medium size? Like,
yeah.
He's about like 40 pounds. Okay. So you said, and again, you're not in trouble. I just got to make sure I ask all the questions.
Why are we blurring that question? Why can we not hear this question?
She's supposed to be moving to Texas for a job.
Now, remember in Bethany's, we just heard in Bethany's that Kaylee had changed her mind and wanted to stay. And that's the first time that we've ever heard that before. So I would love some emphasis on that. It's real quiet. We're not able to hear none of these answers. Lay down, Boomy.
Was there ever anybody that like hit on her at the bars or was texting her a lot or anything like that that would be seen kind of out of the ordinary to you?
I mean, I can think of one.
Okay. Who is it?
Yeah.
What's his name?
This is where he's going to mention seeing somebody's conversation with Kaylee in her Snapchat, and I'm just curious as to how he saw it. That's all.
How do you spell his last name, you know?
I don't think he was like that just to Kaylee. I think he's just that kind of guy.
He's just real flirtatious. Okay. Would he like text her, call her, like?
I saw his Snapchat on her phone.
Okay, gotcha.
A few times. She would show me.
She had showed him.
What kind of stuff was he saying?
Just trying to get her to talk.
Oh, okay.
Not.
Trying to initiate conversation.
Why would you show that to your ex?
Did anyone in that group of friends?
Why would you show messages to your ex of a guy trying to get your attention? I don't know if I believe that story, Jack. I think you were around her a lot and you probably knew how to get into her phone and you just might have seen something that you weren't supposed to see, you know. I'm just saying. Anybody
ever tell you anything about stalking anyone aside from obviously Kaylee saying she, like would call you on occasion when she's watching home? Anything you can think of where someone might have told you, hey, like this dude or this person? To be that kind of person would be horrible. That's insane. But, I don't know. I know some people can be that way. Won't stop talking to me or looks at me funny in the comments or whatever. Anything like that you can think of?
No.
Okay. Do you know who you have anyone in mind you think would have done this?
Mm-mm.
No?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Last night you said you saw Kaylee at the corner club, right? Okay. Did she seem normal? Was she?
Yeah. She just came up to me and I said, "What's up?" And I don't even really remember we had like a 30-second conversation.
Okay. Did it seem normal? Did it seem off?
Yeah, everything seemed very normal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they barely interacted.
Usually do run into each other on weekends.
Okay. So you said you weren't sure if she left before or after you did?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. Was it packed in there last night? Was it?
I had to stop letting people in.
Right. You need to make that place bigger. Anybody at the corner club that you saw? Odd?
No, I just saw her with her friends like the whole time I was there at least.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't think I have any further questions for you right now. Okay. Just like I've been telling the girls the same thing. This kind of thing affects everybody different. Okay. So you may be kind of just, apathetic about it for a while. It may hit you all of a sudden. It's going to hit you sooner or later. Okay. It just may be different than other people. All right. So just understand that the campus has a lot of resources for you guys. Okay. We have a lot of resources. We have a chaplain. I mean, we could put you in touch with counselors, but do me a favor amongst your friend group. Don't let anybody not work through this. Okay. If you see somebody starting to, yourself included, if you start internalizing it and not wanting to deal with it or see somebody doing things in an unhealthy way, if you can't get a hold of anybody else, call us. Okay. Even if you can't get a hold of anybody else, we're always here. Okay. Everybody in this building knows what happened. We're all more than happy to help you guys. Okay. The campus officers are fantastic dudes. Captain Barrett's a fantastic guy. If you guys need anything, and I truly mean this, please call us. Okay. The last thing we want to do is have something as terrible as this get worse because folks don't have the tools they need to work their way through it. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be easy. I won't lie to you, but we're here to help you guys. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. You have any further questions for me, man?
I would just like to get my dog.
Okay. I'll make sure everybody's tracking that we're looking for your dog, and so we'll get a hold of you. Okay, right away.
I don't think he's lost. I think because one of the officers on this scene asked, "Is that your dog upstairs?" So I think someone has him.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
he's still up there. I don't know.
Okay. I'll check for you. Okay. And like I said, I don't know. I haven't been to the scene, so I don't know, but I'll ask around and see if I can get an answer for you. Okay. If I get an answer for you, we'll find a way to get in touch with you. What's your mom's number? Gotcha. What about dad? Okay, the only other thing I ask of you is obviously we got to make sure we get in touch with people's parents and make notifications the proper way. So if you guys could all refrain from, I know I have your phone, but obviously you can log on other people's. Please help us keep this quiet on social media until we can make sure folks are notified the proper way. Okay, they likely already have been or are.
Great question. I've asked this question from the very freaking beginning. He was in the back of that damn cop car with his phone for like how long? How do you pronounce it now? In Noon's, it's gonna take me a minute. In Noon's body cam. How freaking long was he back there? And instead of them getting a phone call from Jack, they're claiming that at some point they're calling Jack's phone while they're calling Maddie and Kaylee's phones. Jack's not answering the phone. He had his phone with him. We saw it in his freaking pocket. He could have called them. He could have been like, I'm sitting in the back of a cop car right now in front of the house trying to figure out what's going on, but no one's telling me anything. There was no communication between these people. Thank you. Yes, I've asked that question for so freaking long. So long. Because what the hell?
In the works of being notified, but the last thing we want to do is have somebody find out on Facebook. You know what I mean? So
too late.
And then I guess that wasn't the last thing. The next thing I'll ask of you is, so the way traumatic events sort of cement themselves in your head, sometimes it'll take a while for the initial.
Bro, great point. Unless it was somehow turned down, he was hearing all of the dispatch, everything that was going on. You're right.
Shock to kind of wear off. And then you may think of something. It may be something little. It may be something like, oh, yeah, I saw this dude at the corner club who just kind of didn't sit right. You know what I'm saying? If something like that happens.
We do. We do see that in the body cam footage. We do.
Get a hold of us, okay? It may be nothing. We may look into it and be like, no, there's nothing there. But it may be something that we really need to know, okay? And we don't know it unless you guys bring it back to us, all right? So please let everybody else know the same thing. If they think of anything at all, please just let us know, okay? It could be something as weird as a vehicle that they haven't seen in the area before. Somebody they saw walking by more than one time, or, just something like that. Let them know that we need to know those things, okay?
Okay. When you said vehicle, just remind me that Kaylee has a borrowed vehicle from a dealership right now. I figured there's probably confusion of whose car that was.
Okay.
Y'all heard that?
You need to know those things, okay?
One more time.
Okay.
Listen real good.
When you said vehicle, just remind me that Kaylee has a borrowed vehicle from a dealership right now. I figured there's probably confusion of whose car that was.
Okay.
A borrowed vehicle from the dealership right now. Borrowed vehicle. If you look at this document here, this is the one where that talks about them going to Spokane. This talks about the fact that the check engine light ended up coming on right here. And you have to keep in mind, this happened on the 10th. Okay? She got this damn thing on the 10th. So for it to say sometime later the check engine light came on, she was driving in that damn thing for a whole 48 hours, probably less than 48 hours. Okay. Sometime after Kaylee purchased the Range Rover, the check engine light came on. She called and texted this person at the dealership to complain about this. He told her they would come and get the car from her if the light did not go off. Blake explained to me that the light could come on for many reasons, but they were unable to figure this out. This doesn't really give us like a lot of information about if they ended up actually taking it in, looking at it or whatever. This right here sort of tells us maybe they tried to look at it, but we're not really getting a timeline for that. But this is all about the dealership. And this is where it's really interesting because this is where we find out that whenever all of this happened, the Goncalveses were going to give the vehicle back. So they had originally refunded $1,000 back to Kaylee's grandma's credit card because she put the $6,500 down, and then her grandma put another $1,000 down on a credit card. As soon as the Goncalveses changed their mind and said that they were going to go ahead and keep the car, they took the $1,000 back from the grandma's credit card. So if the Goncalveses, in my opinion, okay, hadn't seen how easy it was to GoFundMe thousands of dollars like that from the people of the internets, they would have given that car back instead of doing a GoFundMe to pay the damn thing off. But now, which one was actually Kaylee's? Is this accurate? Was it actually a borrowed car? Or was this actually her car and they only had it for like a day, overnight maybe? Like, what would the time frame be for that? Because again, she got it on the 10th. She left the next day on Friday to go down there and was down there until the end, until the 13th. So this part doesn't. Why more confusion? Why more confusion?
Just something like that. Let them know that we need to know those things. Okay.
Okay. When you said vehicle, just reminded me that Kaylee has a borrowed vehicle from a dealership right now. I figured there's probably confusion of whose car that was. Okay.
Exactly. The plate is not like a temporary plate where there's a number on it, but it's paper because it's temporary. The plate that was on Kaylee's vehicle literally said like Price One Auto. Like it was a loaner. I don't know. It's all very like inside. It's too much.
She just bought a car and it like broke the next day, so they lent her a car while they fix it.
You know what dealer?
I'm not sure. It's in Spokane.
Okay.
See? So that makes me think that maybe like later on the 10th or sometime early on the 11th that the light came on and it would have gotten brought back to the dealership and she ended up taking something else. But that's still confusing if this is the situation, because again, her wanting to go and show off the vehicle is like the reason why she was going to go back there to begin with. Because even after Dylan asked her to go to this formal that ended up not being a formal after all, and ended up being a whole nother situation that actually took place at King Road, she still didn't want to go. She was hesitant to go back. Someone actually made a good comment in my community post whenever I posted about this portion that he said, if this is accurate, it's like, damn, the universe was telling her not to go down there. She was hesitant to go down there. And then whenever she was really thinking about going down there for that stupid formal, that again, wasn't really a formal that we were lied to about, her car breaks down. It's like the universe was trying to tell that girl, do not go back there. I'm trying everything I can so that you don't go back there. I'm even going to break your car. It's a lot. Yes, that's why I'm confused. Because if he's accurate, and again, like the photos has the damn... I know that anytime I've ever gotten a car off of a lot, it came with a temporary tag that was paper but had like license plate numbering on it, and hers didn't. It literally was blue and it said Price One Auto like it was a borrowed vehicle. I'm going to have to pull up her car information.
Okay. Any other questions? No. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you talking to me.
That's
all right.
It, yeah.
Like I said, we'll get your phone back to you as quick as we can.
You said probably a couple days.
Yeah, probably so. All right. And yeah, we'll let you know as soon as we have something for you. But like I said, if you guys think anything or if you need any help, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay. We're here to make sure you guys are as taken care of as you can be. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's it. But I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Thank you so much for watching this with me. And thank you again for the gifted memberships and the super sticker. I very much appreciate that. Let me go ahead and roll this one out and I'll be back in a little while. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. All right, you guys. See y'all.